have so many of those kind of soft and non-volatile lanes early on to be able to have options. And for me, I always will think of Aphromoo as such a big prominent figure for FlyQuest for creating plays for them. So this last time around, he was on the Yuumi early on, not a lot of agency at all, just kind of sitting there along for the ride, along for the roller coaster. I would actually really like to see FlyQuest, if they prioritize Nautilus or Leona for Aphromoo himself, to be able to start plays for the team, because he has actually been extremely good so far this spring when handed some of those playmaking supports. Maybe even the Thresh thrown in there as well if the rest of the supports start to take bans. But so far, it looks like all the supports remain open, and we just get, again, the Veigar ban coming out again versus Takui to complement this LeBlanc one that has been a mainstay.
Well, hey, Nautilus got through the draft this time. It's Volibear banned away, it's LeBlanc banned away, but instead of the Nautilus ban, we have a Kali banned out instead, but FlyQuest opt to lock in the Ahri. And
the reason you're leaving Nautilus up here is because Nautilus is the premier pick into Zeri with the point-and-click ultimate, so if EG don't grab it up, FlyQuest are kind of manipulating this. They're saying, all right, we'll take the Ahri and give you Zeri, but we are going to counter your Zeri with a Nautilus. I will remind you, though, this recipe is the exact recipe that Evil Geniuses beat FlyQuest with back at the beginning of the season. This exact draft. FlyQuest, they went with the early pick on Ahri, and they gave up the Zeri plus Nautilus combination to EG. And they regretted it.
Well, they do at least get the Leona on the side of FlyQuest. So we are going to have Aphromoo on one of those playmakers, one of those engagers, one of those champions that can lead the charge. Xayah drafted there for Johnson. So there's an easy way to avoid the Nautilus kill button if that's what he wants to target. Hold on, I gotta, before we go any further into the draft, crowd, you guys gotta not be so easily bamboozled. I know it's been a couple of years, but if they're hovering Zed and Fiddlesticks, they're probably gonna play Nocturne and Lee Sin. I'm just trying to prime you guys for that.
Live a little, flowers, dream a little, huh?
Or Victor. We got Victor instead, so at least, hey, that's Victor from Arcane. Now, to end to the second part of the bans, how is this going to change up, you think? What's going to be a little bit different? We have both our mid laners picked this time, both of our bottom laners, so it's all jungle, all top side focus.
Yeah, I actually expect them to try and ban out a little bit of jungle here for Jose, seeing as how EG will be able to get their jungle pick first and then have the double from FlyQuest. So yeah, they are going to target him. Nocturne is the first jungle to catch a ban.
Nocturne removed from the table. We saw a lot of Nocturne here in the LCS studio yesterday, to the dismay of some, as it was locked in for all 3 games by the Golden Guardians. Weren't able to find a win with it, but we're not going to get to see it here this time around. FlyQuest, we got some Jose Dioto fandom here in the crowd today as well. Wanted to see him pop up, bring up the Tuki time. But Trundle banned out now, so we're going to continue seeing these junglers targeted here. Does EG want to make it a double jungle ban from their own side, or do they want to throw something up there towards that top lane and once again just try to hit Kumo a little bit, give Impact the ideal matchup?
Lee Sin, Jarvan, and Xin Zhao all still available. Viego is the one that takes the hit here, though. It is Jose Deodo's most played champion this split, with 8 plays, double that of the next most common for him, so strong target ban there. But Jose has not had champion pool problems. You know, as we said, Lee Sin, Jarvan, Xin Zhao, all available up right now, so both junglers should be able to get something comfortable.
Okay, last ban, what's it going to be? Aatrox. All right, was not quite expecting to see that one here, but that'll be the final ban of the draft for FlyQuest. Evil Geniuses, fully expect to see the jungle picked here. Leave that last pick of the draft for Impact on counter pick once again.
Yeah, Aatrox is kind of an interesting one because a couple patches ago, he got a little tiny buff on the sweet spot damage, and ever since then, I've seen a lot more of it in solo queue and in champions queue for these players, but not so much on stage, and EG will get the blind pick for Impact here this time around. He's going to be the one piloting the Ornn. Personally, I really like, Alawi as a tank buster into it, but EG are gonna...
Okay, this is so fun. I love this. This is the ultimate skill check / you're a noob. If you can win both sides of the same matchup, you are the king. The other guy is now a peasant. He cannot talk.
Well, he can talk, and what they'll usually say is jungle diff.
Solo queue excuses.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the most reliable ones. There's the Jarvan again for Jose. This time around, though, because FlyQuest kind of played off what we were talking about. They have more setup, more options for Jose to work with. So this time around, the Jarvan pick can actually do something. Jarvan can play either to Aphromu's Leona, which we wanted him to grab either Leona or Nautilus. Good change of priority there for FlyQuest, or he can play off of the mid lane here. Takui this time is the one with the Ahri. This time he's the one with the CC setup on Victor. And it is basically a reverse of fates here. EG taking the scaling this time. FlyQuest taking some of the playmaking here for early game. Inspired with the Graves, though. Interesting, has fallen a bit off for jungle Graves.
Yep.
And yet, in some of these matchups here, really can, especially with the way that Inspired's been playing, to link up with support. If he links up with Vulcan and goes for these invades early on, you can create these pretty heavy CS leads over something like a Jarvan.
Yeah.
While the Jarvan will look for a lot of these gank angles, Graves, the whole goal of this last pick and how EG want to play the game is farm-oriented and denying enemy camps to them. So we'll see if this time around EG are tasked with keeping their Ornn and Victor lanes a
lead. Eyes on the junglers here. Inspired and Vulcan working together. Aphromu being unlocked to rotate around and do stuff in the early game.
All right, Flowers. All right, FlyQuest. All right, fans. We had our warm-up game. Let's see what FlyQuest can do with some real early game potential. They've got Jarvan with possible setup for them towards the bottom side of the map. So if Jose starts again on blue side, this time around, you know, he can threaten off of Aphromu's Leona, off of this Ahri play. But honestly, I'm still looking at the mid lane because JoJo plays even these sides of matchups super aggressively. He always looks for, even when he's on Victor, these aggressive trades early on, trying to get you with minion damage through the laser, as well as harassment at the same time, and trying to chunk you out. So I want to see if that is punishable by a Jarvan who has so many different angles you can go after. And we can already see it. So much focus from the players as well around mid lane.
Yep.
Both sides of them trying to ward the ramps, and Takui wants his Jarvan to gank. This is the surest sign that you want an early gank. I'm starting Sweeper, and I'm clearing out your gank path for you. Red buff level 2 Jarvan is renowned for going for those early ganks. It can make some mid laners kind of second guess themselves, but look at that. JoJo is full confidence. He does not second guess anything.
He is aggro Victor.
Still goes for the early trade, tries to punish the sweeper.
I love the fact that he's willing to play aggro even in those matchups. Takui trying to keep him back as much as he can, but JoJo will not be stopped that easily. Over on the other side, Inspired just doing the full clear here on Graves. Impact taking a bit of a whooping here from Kumo early on, down to 100 HP up against the Gwen.
Now I'm the one with the scissors.
Yeah, scissors beats Ornn.
True. Scissors cuts down gods, I guess, is
something like
is
that.
our takeaway. There's Jose, though, off to his level 3. This one will not circumvent the vision of evil geniuses, though. It's kind of curious because they did clear out with the sweeper the other early ward that EG placed, and yet it is kind of going to be telegraphed here. Now they see the flag go down as well. Inspired's going to actually take that fight as he knows he's got his mid laner pushing. JoJo could be the first one to this jungle skirmish, and that's what matters most. I want to highlight the mid laners. Here it comes. I'm telling you, this is #1 possibility when you go for a jungle invade. Smite fight?
Well, I think they're going to try to burst it with abilities. Oh! There it is.
He got it.
It is going to be secured there by Inspired, and now he's dealing with Jose Diodo here in the 1v1. Both of them got about 300 HP. Laser over the wall from JoJo. Inspired's not going to go any closer, is he? Nope, dashes right back away. JoJo trying to be able to help out his ally, but was a little bit too far away there. Jose Diodo, the one who ends up having to use his flash, and Impact is still stuck underneath the turret the entire time. He was not able to rotate over to that. The fight was super interesting because Graves can't shoot through the red at the Jarvan. Jose did a really good job of just waiting up until it came down to that 50-50 smite there, but Inspired had the burst.
It matters so much, too. This is actually the most exciting way for me to start games as a jungler. Inspired gets his level 4 off the Krugs and is going to chase Jose out of there, but that smite is very hard to hit. You saw Inspired, he canceled his auto that was going to hit the red buff at 520 HP. So it would not knock it down to the 450 for smite.
Oh boy.
He waits around here. The W is active and the Ghost is active. So it should be fine. But he waited, he checked his auto, and then on Jose's actual combo, when Jose threw down the EQ, Inspired still hits the smite, timing it with his opponent's combination. So very difficult smite to actually hit there as the extra Jarvan damage was coming through, but he did it. And then it was actually smart by Jose kiting around away from the enemy mid laner who he knew moved first and was able to get out with just his flash being blown. But we shall see if that flash down on Jarvan is punishable now. That is one of the big takeaways from that early invade, plus being a little bit down on camps.
Well, it is Kumo to be the first top laner to teleport back after going home for a purchase. Only got an amplifying tome, though, so not a very good base off of that one, but didn't really have a choice after the gank from Inspired in the top lane. Now Impact's going to go ahead, go back to base, refuel himself. Both of our mid laners have also already gone back for their first purchase. You can see the 3 starter items in the inventory of Takui, while Jojo has only gone for the Corrupting Potion and the Doran's Ring, then going towards the amplifying tome, getting on track for building more completed items after. But now here in bottom, we'll see if Jose Diodo can really find anything to do. Doesn't look like you're going to get much of a chance to do that here. They're seeing if maybe they can bait Vulcan and Danny to try to go after Johnson, but that ain't going to happen. Also worth noting that Johnson is playing the other style of Xayah here in this game. I checked the match thread in between the games, and there were people both calling both the Xayah builds bad. Some people were saying, quit Xayah is bad. Other people were saying, tier Xayah is bad. So now we'll see which one of them ends up getting more vindicated after game number 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, they both have their pros and cons. The tier 1 is definitely not bad. There's so much burst damage with Muramana. I think Muramana is so busted if you can
it's so strong
on any champ that can incorporate this item. Level 6 advantage there for Kumo. I also think there is a place for the crit builds to touch on it, especially if you are going to play into frontline like that, and you are going to actually have space to get your autos off, then the crit build still does decently have a place, but there's so much burst and so much range, and you get a lot of armor shred with early Shirelias on the Muramana Eclipse build that both of them have some decent use cases. Jojo with the ultimate here just to clear the wave and get his back timing synced up with that of the Ahri. Remember how important the Ahri roaming around and the Ahri lane priority was last game? Jojo trying to deny that to Takui. And I've talked a lot about how Jojo likes to play all these lane matchups always aggressively, no matter what champion he's on. If he's on a scaling control mage, doesn't matter. And it shows in his runes. He almost always goes Airy, Scorch, and Absolute Focus. He also has the Time Warp Tonic for the kind of bait plays and the surprise plays for the instant healing. He actually went Minion Dematerializer this time around as well to help out with that wave control against the Ahri as Victor really early on trying to focus on those waves. But here we go, Inspired Flash.
Flash from Afromu there to try to go after that Graves. Inspired's reaction time was good enough to get him away, but FlyQuest invading the enemy jungler here. Jose Diodo does have the smite on that one. Now Inspired's in some more trouble, smites the Gromp, dashes back over the wall, won't stay alive, and it's Takui getting first blood for FlyQuest. Jojo's coming over, but Vulcan's already in even more trouble. Johnson's gonna grab another one for the FlyQuest side as evil geniuses cannot respond.
Give them the playmaking champions, Flowers, and the plays will be made. FlyQuest with the invade. Your boy Afromu. When this man is on a playmaking support, when he is the point man for this team, they look so much more proactive. He's such a good shot caller. We've listened in on the comms so many times with him over the years. The seasoned veteran there for the team goes for the play, and FlyQuest invading on the Evil Geniuses side. Remember in Champ Select, this is what we called for. It's basically a switch of the first game where EG are going to have to play a little bit more careful in the early game, trying to scale up a little. Jose hit the knock up there, and then after move, forcing the flash for flash there, threatening his E. but it's really about the re-engage. And EG call up their bottom lane and then try and fight their way back into it. But if you've got the early move from this Ahri, again, Tukoi right over the top side of it, they get the lockdown on Inspired this time around. They know he has no flash, so Tukoi is able to finish him off there, gets the extra charge, and by the time JoJo walks all the way around, it's too late. Can't get there in time. FlyQuest have dealt their damage. They have gotten their kills. So it's EG trying to defend a little bit too aggressively there before they have mid lane rotating over and not being able to track the Ahri.
Oh, and here we go again. It's Jose Diodo over the wall. It's JoJo in some trouble. Flash away from the Cataclysm. Nicely timed to avoid the damage.
Exactly. Saw that. Here we go, though. Kumo actually getting dove as well.
Sound the Orn horn. It's time for trouble here in top lane. Impact chasing after him. Kumo's got the ghost, and he's on the run. Inspired's too slow. He can't catch up. FlyQuest has backup coming in. Kumo, the great escape. Is it complete? Now, wait, I don't think this is over yet. Inspired still walking over the wall through the fog. Impact's here. Vulcan maybe looking to join up. And the entire time, Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around. I think I have to use the bush.
I love the mind games from the observers right there. Actually playing with the crowd reactions. What bush is he in? Really nice jukes from him. I've also always been told, Flowers, that it is dangerous to run with scissors, and yet Kumo pops the ghost, runs as fast as he can with them, gets out alive. EG gonna start up that Rift Herald in response though, and look at this roam timer on the supports. Both supports making their way up. It is level 6 ready for both of them as well. This one could be fireworks.
And we got to see ultimates used in the top side too. Both Ornn ulti and Gwen ulti are not available. Vulcan goes in after Afromu, but Afro's not concerned. He's ready to go in. Support is so easy, dude. Tukui gets a kill on JoJo Bune, and FlyQuest is still looking to find even more. Inspired is on the retreat, and Tukui is on the chase. Impact in the middle of everybody, and FlyQuest just destroyed Evil Genius.
This is why best of fives are far superior, Flowers. You get to see the adaptation in the draft. They switch it up. This time around, more early game here for FlyQuest and more aggressive plays. Afromu, you said it. They target him, and he's like, great, I'm going all in.
Perfect.
Right next to JoJo here. If you're going to hook me in, I'm just going to E over to your carry. He locks up JoJo with the E into Q, into ultimate, and JoJo gets annihilated. Jose Diodo followed it up with his EQ. Tukui was able to follow through on the Ahri, charging through as well. And then finishing up, chasing down the rest of these kills. FlyQuest have completely reversed the tables here. And I believe that Rift Herald went into the ground. Since EG were the ones to hit the smite, EG were able to kill the Rift Herald, and yet nobody was able to pick up the rewards.
We got ourselves a series, my friend. FlyQuest striking back beautifully here in game number 2 so far. However, there is still no Drakes taken, so that's one thing that at least Evil Geniuses can say.
And I want to shout out Jose for the 100% kill participation on the Jarvan. And the perfect supportive jungle style, all 5 assists for
the opposite of what happened with Inspired in game number 1, who had all of the kills. Jose only rolling assists in this one, as Kumo goes in for the 1v1 against Impact. And honestly, the trade goes pretty even between the two of them. Oh, wait, okay. Kumo tried to get a little bit extra there on the back end of things. Impact's going to chase after him a little bit more, just get that wave shoved up. Has Inspired right behind him here, so in case he gets ganked as he tries to shove this wave all the way into the turret, he knows he's going to have backup. Kumo just continuing to try to farm up whatever he can, poke onto Impact if he's able to. Impact saying, all right, you sure you don't want to come kill me? Look, I'm right here. Come get me, buddy. Come get me. Get the Ornn. Oh no, I'm so far up. What am I doing here?
You make a good Ornn. Oh no, I'm so far up.
Here they go, but Impact barely stays alive, and Inspired gets the first kill of the game for his team, while mid lane it's JoJo dead again.
All right, I'll be Inspired then. Get off my Ornn, boy! He's able to get that kill in time. Kumo down, Danny trying to defend the blue side though.
Well, Afromu's right there with Jose. Jose can't deal with Danny by himself, but having Afro next to him, he sure can. Danny cleanly takes the blue buff and gets away to safety.
Meanwhile, you got Impact up there. He didn't even recall, okay? That is a dangerous Ornn right there. He stayed to proxy an extra minion wave, and with the blast cone, he's even able to get out with it. The deed has been done.
Chad Ornn recalls whenever he feels like. FlyQuest, though, with their 2,500 gold lead, they've got enough control over the bottom side of the map to get themselves the first Drake of the game just about 14 minutes in.
Okay, so we set it up as a reverse champ select from game number 1. There's one key difference, though. EG didn't go all in on the scaling. They didn't pick up the Yuumi. They went with Nautilus to kind of still have playmaking and go 50-50 with it. Nothing needs to be said about that replay.
Yeah, Vulcan's just standing there watching like, ooh, all right, no thanks.
So the EG isn't quite, the scaling isn't quite as significant as the FlyQuest was in the last game because of the power that Yuumi really gains over the duration. But we shall see what Inspired's able to get done with this Graves. It has become, quite popular to go with the Gore Drinker build on him, even though he is ranged. It's very short range, so you can always still get pretty high value out of the active as well.
6-1 FlyQuest, 2,500 gold lead. Nice early game. Things are looking solid here. Item completion's big. 9 dark seal stacks. Thank you, Mr. John Madden himself.
Yeah,
League of Legends.
You like that circle?
That was
most
really
wobbly. Nice. To be fair, we've got a tablecloth up here on the desk, and so it's not great mouse traction, you know.
You're blaming it on a tablecloth? Just own it, man. I can't draw circles either. They always look flubbly wobbly.
Happy little circle there for you.
Exactly. Happy little circles.
I do want to see him upgraded actually into the Medjais. To continue the snowballing here, though. And as you are also fond of pointing out, when you upgrade into Medjais, then you get the mythic passive bonus as well for very cheap compared to any other completed items.
Right.
So you really can kind of leverage the early lead that a 4-kill Ahri does have here with all of those stacks, getting quite a lot of value. Topside focus again, Inspired. Really going and focusing on Impact's lane to make sure he can constantly push in here on Kumo, and there's no kind of reverse scenario. They don't want this Gwen to get accelerated in scaling at all because it does become a problem a bit later on.
And hey, the big thing I'm looking at here, one of our biggest differences in terms of individuals in this game, Toucouille was not properly focused and shut down in the early game. This is not a 0-2-0 Orianna. It's a 4-0-1 Ahri. He is in a great spot to be able to make the plays that can carry this team and carry this game.
Yeah, and Jose has done a great job in setting him up in a lot of those endeavors. Remember,
absolutely,
a lot of these skirmishes and the invades on enemy jungle, Jose and Afromu playing their parts this time around now that they have a lot more options with this setup. And here we go once again.
Toucouille goes in, forces out the flash from JoJo. Without that, the charm would have landed and trouble surely would have followed as Afromu was right there for the follow-up CC. Mid lane tier 1 goes down, but EG's coming in, double flash over the wall to get away. But now it's Jose who has to escape as well, and he buffers the combo to get out of the CC.
Nice timing there from Jose on the flag and drag. EG no Ornn ultimate, and they want to go in.
Jose's ready to try to turn this one around, but has he got in too early? Yes, I believe he has. Inspired's got the kill, but one immediately comes back as Johnson claims JoJo. Kumo's trying to buy time in the middle of everybody as a double kill goes over to the FlyQuest AD carry. Can they make it 3? Not quite yet, but Kumo gets it done. Danny's looking to fire back however he can, but Johnson wants to return a couple autos of his own. Danny is trying to skate around and keep on fighting this, trying to keep FlyQuest from getting any more, but he's down to 100 HP. Danny, I don't know about this one, buddy. I know you like moving fast, but it's time to haul ass. Inspired, trying to walk right. It is! It doesn't just rhyme, it's correct, damn it. And now Inspired has to go back into the pit. He'll look for the Rift Herald himself, but FlyQuest is winning the fights.
Oh, man. I love to see it, though. He's squeezing out the extra little bit of damage. You can tell the confidence in Danny. There were questions about some of the young players and the players that have not played in front of crowds before, but Danny has really thrived in this area. Here's another look at it. Jose goes in early, and he did use the Gore Drinker on entry, so didn't have the Gore Drinker later to try and heal back up. Does get bursted down early. still buying time and getting the engage for his team because Kumo and Johnson arriving. And look at the burst damage from this Xayah build with the Q plus E combinations on those blade collars coming back through. Plus Kumo on the front line here. Once you stack up your Riftmaker and your Conqueror, just chewing through the front line. I still love it though. Danny, you know, trying to make the most of the Zeri pick. He catches a few strays with these, with the Qs and the poke damage, but he plays it on the edge, and that's what you want out of an AD carry, to play and get the most damage that you can without actually going down. Also, shouts out to Danny for playing a lot of Champions Q this week, because that has been a big discussion over especially the last couple of weeks, and he was actually the centerpiece for a part of it with a post on it. But after his post, he actually has queued up for almost every day of Champions Queue this week leading into this series, taking it very seriously and trying to improve as much as possible for stage play here. So definitely positive stuff there to see from him. EG off the reset though, should be able to retake some vision here on the top side of the map, if not provoke Shelly.
Man, this is looking pretty dire for the side of Evil Geniuses, though. That is now the second Drake in the pocket of FlyQuest. So they got both of those early ones. 4,000 gold lead before 20 minutes. Jose is going in to try to grab this second Herald, but it's not going to live for a terribly long amount of time, so they need to take care of this as quickly as they possibly can. Should last plenty long enough to get it, I would hope, now that Johnson is up here. Remember, it would despawn at 1945. It's not aggroed. 1955. If it is, they clear it with 3 seconds to spare.
Plenty of time. And they also get the top turret here for Takui. All the gold onto Ari. Again, focusing so much gold on this Ari. Love to see this possibility here. And even so, a lot of these extra kills off that team fight, you know, going in the pockets of Johnson there for this Xayah. So they're going to have a very nice mid-game spike here. I think FlyQuest feels so confident here in game number 2 for this turnaround Flowers to even up this series.
And they should. They have done a great job in this game so far. They're playing the team fights better. They had the better early game, and they're answering well when EG tries to make their own moves.
Now, we should caution against the level 13 Ornn handing out his upgraded items down here for Impact. Next level should be able to upgrade for Danny and see what the Zeri can do with a little bit of extra power.
Vulcan and Jojo are going to defend the mid lane tier 2. Danny and Inspired doing the same thing here at bottom lane. You can see Takui taking his spot up there in top to be able to provide just a little bit more pressure elsewhere on the map. Jose and Aphromoo backing up a little bit. Keep in mind that second Herald is in Jose's inventory. It'll still be there for another couple of minutes wherever he decides to use it. But the first 3 turrets are already taken down. All those tier 1s are gone. So I do want to see FlyQuest try to use this Herald to grab a complete tier 2.
And they're just going to keep up with the 1-3-1 split push here. Nobody able to answer it. Both Unleashed teleports are ready for them. Both mobility summoner spells are going to be ready very shortly as well. And so they use this to take over vision on the map, slowly clearing out more and more of the EG vision. Jose here pathing through, cleaning this blue quadrant.
Jose will continue making sure that his team's got a good setup in terms of vision in the enemy jungle. There goes that Scuttle Crab, as well as you can see through the emotes a story being told of who should have got that crab and who did get that crab. I always hate when AD carries do that. It's my damn crab. They get to take the wraiths and everything else as the game goes forward. Just leave the crabs.
With the jungle item, you get bonus experience. There's a real argument
Yes,
for it.
It's very important. The jungler needs to get the crabs. But now, Takui is just going to keep on farming up here in bottom lane. He's got Rabadon's Death Cap as his second item. This is just the I'm going to kill you item. This is not utility. This is not any sort of extra value in terms of anything but the damage you are doing to enemy health bars, and that tells me he knows his job is to carry.
Yeah, and he's going to want to look at the right targets. This is the other thing it says. This is, instead of going for some magic penetration to go through Graves or Ornn, who both have picked up magic resistance, he's saying, hey, I don't care about that. I am going to these priority targets. I will, in these team fights, find a Zeri or find Victor. That is our win con. It is me assassinating them. That's why I'm going Death Cap. I've got 10 stacks on my Dark Seal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take out the threats from EG, and I'm going to work around their front line, not through it.
And the thing I want to bring up about that front line and the itemization there, Impact not opting for the Tear into Fimbulwinter build that we see out of quite a few Orns these days. Instead, just wanted to go straight for the Force of Nature second. It helps him in the 1v1 against the Gwen, as well as providing him protection against the most fed member of FlyQuest in Takui. But now Josedioto and Afromu are coming down to the bottom lane. The Rift Herald's going to be summoned up here. The Tier 2 is still at full HP, but with multiple FlyQuest players nearby, Evil Geniuses, will they even be able to hold this? Josedioto's going to step up. Herald's going to take a little bit of damage here. Impact loses about a third of his HP, but EG keep the turret going.
All right. Able to keep it alive, 15% health or so, but at what cost? You know, all of this work earlier that was done by Jose, by FlyQuest to clear out the vision. They take your whole blue quadrant, they increase their gold lead, they keep up their siege here. They still have plenty of poke, and that ultimate doesn't actually get anything out of EG. Just the dash from Danny is going to be enough to zone them off that turret and finally get the objective. Plenty of time to pull back to the dragon as well. I believe EG would probably not want to risk a lot on just Soul Point Dragon.
Yep.
Wait another 5 minutes for the real big daddy.
Well, the thing is, I'm starting to wonder, Kobe, when do you fight for EG? Because we're at the point with a 6,000 gold deficit. Every fight feels bad. You're having to take low percentage plays now. Which is the one that you finally say, all right, this is where we bite the bullet?
The one where your opponent makes the biggest mistake.
Okay.
there is no way that you set it up to have that advantage. And so what you got to do in these situations is set yourself up for opportunities and then be ready to jump on them when they go. When you get that call, when you see someone out of position, you don't ask questions, no hesitation. You hit that engage, you go. You've got Nautilus, you've got Ornn. You can find these picks. You have Victor scaling. You are going to be able to have damage, you know, in this game. He's actually gone Shadow Flame plus Sorks as well. So he also here for JoJo has all burst damage. You know, he's not trying to work through people with magic resist either, looking for the squishier targets there on that Victor. So if you've got Nautilus and Ornn locking somebody up with CC, they will get deleted. That's what you're saying.
Yep, Takui and Johnson both have no protection against that magical burst. You can see Afromu is going to be very tanky against it, so obviously he doesn't want to unload the damage into the Leona or the Gwen or anything like that. So mid laners needing to target enemy carries will be the story of our next big fight wherever it breaks out. There is 4 minutes until that soul spawns for FlyQuest, and EG will be forced to answer them. But until then, FlyQuest will continue taking up space, occupying enemy territory, removing the vision of Evil Geniuses, and giving them less map to play with on Summoner's Rift. Kumo now pretty far pushed up, but he's not really worried. Inspired is down here, but Inspired and Impact together will have a tough time dealing with Kumo trying to chase him down when he has the Ghost available to run away. FlyQuest now starting up the Baron. It will be seen by this tricky little ward from Evil Geniuses that lets them know what FlyQuest is up to. Takui just playing the back part of the pit here, ready to intercept if anybody walks over, but FlyQuest does not have the manpower to take this out once Evil Geniuses knows what's going on. However, they do have the power to keep the split push going on the other end of the map. You pull them left, you strike right. You pull them right, you strike left. FlyQuest is trying to run them all over the map as Danny shows up in the bottom lane, gets the Ghost out of Kumo. But again, you pull them one way, you go the other, and the remaining players on FlyQuest are right back onto the Baron, again demanding an answer.
All right, well, the answer is here from EG. Everybody's coming over. Impact has teleport on the Ornn, and they're starting to fight.
Josedioto has made his way in onto the enemy mid laner. Josedioto is going to be taken low, and Danny's going to grab the kill. Now Kumo moves forward, looking to find something here. Afromu with the flash over the wall. FlyQuest lose 1.
And they would have lost more, but they charmed Impact so he couldn't activate the second part of the Ornn ultimate. So the Ram didn't come through. FlyQuest avoided big disaster there, yet still give over some gold. The 1 kill here, the pick, going into their hands, getting the extra money. Vulcan surviving was the most surprising to me, as you know, FlyQuest had to bail out of that one, but very good punish there from EG. And rest assured, they've got objective bounties on the map as well. So if you start to drop some of these team fights, the rewards, the comeback will be very swift from Evil Geniuses. Plenty of objective bounties up, especially if this fight occurs around Baron and the Baron starts to get low. That thing will slingshot you right into first place.
But, my friend, if you're on Evil Geniuses right now, there is a tick-tock, tick-tock in the back of your head, and that is a 1 minute and 31 second counter on this Soul. The Dragon doesn't have the ability to wear down health bars like a Baron does when you start it up. It doesn't give you such a good collapse angle as Baron does if the enemy team begins it and you're able to swoop in and stop them like EG did. EG will need to be able to answer FlyQuest here because a 6,000 gold lead feels a lot scarier when everybody has that constantly replenishing shield on top. EG do not want to give this Soul away.
Certainly not, and they need to get there pretty early. If they can get here early and get into these brush down around Dragon by the river, then you actually get to utilize your Nautilus Ornn combination. And that is basically a guaranteed engage combo to be able to isolate some of these backline members and try and pull this game back. Otherwise, FlyQuest looking like they are going to even this one up. Almost a 6,000 gold lead. They're drooling at the spawn of the Dragon Flowers.
Oh, they're ready to go.
It is the complete opposite story. They are so ready for this one.
They've got stopwatches on both of those carries. Johnson, Tukui, both with that aggro drop. Johnson's got his ulti there too, so double aggro drop, flash up on both of them. FlyQuest are ready to rock and roll here for this Drake. EG are not first to the scene like you were talking about. FlyQuest have bottom side river priority. JoJo's just going to pick up the blue buff here, so at least he'll be able to spam some spells for the Evil Geniuses. Impact has to walk back away, does not want to continue eating poke there. Afromu finds Zenith Blade onto Inspired, but now Vulcan's ready to find a little CC onto him. Danny chases after for a bit of additional damage, but no major cooldowns spent by either side. FlyQuest falling back away. Zeri Laser not going to find anything there. Jose Diodo back into the pit. The Drake is alive now. FlyQuest have control over the pit, but EG are moving up as a unit. Tukui still here on the flank. He can come around from behind and try to find this angle. There's your Afromu solo flare. Immediate aggro. Johnson ultis a rampage. And Jojo Pune is down. But Evil Geniuses are fighting back with Danny. Afromu's going to be taken low. Kumo comes in looking to find any bit of damage that he can. Afromu's going to be killed, but Johnson's unstoppable. A double kill back over to Danny. It is a 3-for-2 in the favor of FlyQuest.
But they've got their jungler here. EG only have 2 members, but they have the jungler. They have the Smite Flowers, and there's a ward on that Dragon. Inspired's opting for the objective. He could just blast cone in there and yoink that away. He has the Smite. There's no Jose here. Careful about getting it too low.
Kumo trying to zone Inspired out. Danny stole the red buff away for HP Regen. Tried to steal it with a laser over the wall, but no, sir. That is Dragon Soul for the side of FlyQuest.
Ooh, I was wondering if Inspired was just going to come hover around the back of that Dragon Pit and hope that EG kept damaging it because they had a ward on it and they could see the vision. But walking around the front there actually just gets chased off. So well done by FlyQuest. This Leona ultimate and Xayah combination get the flash out of Danny, but then look at the kiting here. Johnson immediately kills down Jojo Pune, but Danny is able to survive in the back of that Jarvan Cataclysm, pumping out damage, so they salvage the fight. Takoi with his Zhonya's flash is able to get away from Inspired, but the extra kill barely chased down there. And this is where I thought, okay, after the bottom tower, maybe they hover around behind the Dragon. That ward you see in the pit, unable to be the difference maker though. Now it is Mountain Soul, worn by FlyQuest. And this is the time for them to march forward. 1-3-1, push up both sides of this map. Get these lanes going, then you can collapse to threaten the Baron, threaten that fight here, and actually make use of this big advantage you just acquired.
And looking at this damage dealt last team fight, obviously your eyes get drawn to the biggest damage bar in the graph, which is the 6,117 damage for Danny. But even more so, look at that little itty-bitty thing right next to it. 469 for Jojo because he got exploded at the very start of the fight. That's not what is acceptable for EG to win these fights. Jojo has got to put more damage in than that, but FlyQuest is already over onto the Baron. EG has to come answer. A TP is going to be used from both sides. EG's getting close, but the Baron is already down and secured by Jose Diodo and FlyQuest. Impact summons up the horn, fires it off and finds 2, but there's no way for anybody to follow up. Jose Diodo buys a little bit of time, but he's still taken down. Vulcan with the engage into the dredge line, and now they're looking to find the damage here on a Johnson, but he's going to go dominating, finding the kill back on a Vulcan instead. Shut down onto Danny too. It's looking bad for the Evil Geniuses, and the bad guys FlyQuest lose here in game number 2.
FlyQuest get the Baron. They've got the Mountain Soul. They're not done yet. Inspired here trying to delay their pushes. But FlyQuest right up the mid lane here. They're going to get paid early.
FlyQuest pushing up. They know that it's only Inspired and Impact. They've still got everybody except Jose. They're not going after neutral objectives. They don't need a smite. All they need is a couple of sledgehammers to knock down these buildings, and they'll do just that. Mid lane inhibitor, first one to fall.
Takui and FlyQuest and Johnson have not died a single time this game. It's actually insane here. The carries for FlyQuest, both of them deathless at this point. And we'll see, they burst down this Baron and then wait for the EG collapse. And there's a couple of breakpoints of hesitation here. You'll see the first after FlyQuest basically get out of the Baron, but then Ornn kind of splits the team and Jose flashes away. This ultimate from Victor is chasing him into the back of the pit, and so he jumps in. EG get the first kill. This is the first reset. Vulcan then flashes forward, but Kumo provides so much threat with this Gwen, cuts off the opponent, and Johnson with his ultimate plus flash survives and gets the burst damage. Kumo then just runs the front line out of this fight, allowing Takui to pull up the damage from the back line here. And the chase off of that re-engage here from FlyQuest allows them this 1-3-1 with Baron and Dragon Soul Flowers. You gotta say, FlyQuest hitting right back in this series.
And the one player who doesn't have the Baron, because he was the sacrificial lamb in Jose Dioto, is not one of those split pushers. So it's not affecting their macro game at all to have him lose the Baron. Not like if they would have lost it off to Takui or Kumo. So now that pressure just keeps flooding towards Evil Geniuses. FlyQuest have everything they need to close out this game. They just need to do it cleanly. They've got 30 seconds left on the Baron. Let's see how much they can get with it. Top lane, tier 2 has fallen. It's Takui continuing this push up here. Danny's ready to try to defend it, but meanwhile, bottom side, you gotta respect Kumo in the split push. 4-man effort up here in top. Can't get a whole lot of damage down onto the turret because EG read it properly and clear out the wave.
It's good lane allocations from Evil Geniuses. They know nobody else can actually clear the wave effectively versus Kumo because Kumo threatens to dive on them except for JoJo with the range of Victor, lasering through these waves, even through the Baron empowered minions. And Danny can hold the 4 push on top side. So EG delaying pretty well on this, even though FlyQuest have them surrounded with the Mountain Soul, with all of the extra gold lead here. FlyQuest looming, looking to finish the job.
And we've got 1 minute until the Elder Drake spawns. So if FlyQuest aren't confident in their ability to just brute force down the Evil Genius's base, they can always go for that too. Impact getting away as he's down to half HP as FlyQuest continue putting the pressure on here in the top lane. Johnson and Afro Moo gonna step up here a little bit. Johnson goes for some poke on Danny, but doesn't get a lot out of it. Kumo stepping up here, just using the power of that W. Gwen is immune, and it means she gets to hit turrets whenever she wants. But when the W's down, it's harder to stay alive. Inspired goes in for a little bit more, and that's the shutdown over to JoJo. Evil Geniuses continue their defense. 20 seconds on Elder Spawn. JoJo's dead for 50. No, not JoJo, Kumo! Now you got Vulcan walking away. Now you got Jose Dioto in trouble. Now you got him thrown up into the air. Now you got him barely getting out. But Danny picks him up, and Danny ain't done. The charm doesn't hit, and Danny's still looking for a little bit more. He cleanses it off, but Evil Geniuses are a 5v3 situation with Elder Dragon on the board.
Flowers, this is an objective bounty comeback too. This is gonna be Elder buff, execution plus huge gold for Evil Geniuses. That was way too far from Jose, and it's going to cost them big.
Both FlyQuest carries still alive. Johnson almost has the flash. Takui has his. Evil Geniuses have the Elder down to about 6k. Inspired has Smite. Jose Dioto still dead for another 15 seconds. Kumo's alive in 5, and he will have the Unleashed TP. Evil Geniuses still working the Dragon lower and lower. Elder claimed by Evil Genius.
Oh, it's not over yet, Flowers. FlyQuest, they can get the Soul, they can get the Baron, but EG still fighting at their gates. JoJo punishes Kumo first at the tower. Kumo going in with W to try and get tower damage there, try and immune him, but the Everfrost slow was enough to keep him in range for the Ornn to force the dodging there, and they barely finish off Kumo first. Then the re-engage was the most puzzling thing. So this one, you can tell the thinking that goes into it. Okay, I've got this huge advantage. You know, I've got the shield. I can put on my W here. I'll get some tower damage. But he goes a bit too far. The slow hits him. So then he has trouble dodging this follow-up slow from the Ornn ultimate. Inspired is on him. The extra damage. Inspired flashes for it. They know that they have to make the play here. This is the crazy one. Jose goes in. They still have the Nautilus ultimate available. And so the hook here, back in from Vulcan as well. Jose gets locked up. Nautilus ultimate down as he's trying to run away. And EG, no, we were doomed. And yet this is our chance. We have to jump on that chance. Flowers, to your earlier conversation, when an opportunity presents itself, you have to jump on it. They get really hypey and try and jump pretty far there, but in the end, now they've got Elder Dragon buff, the execution, the uber buff that allows you to win team fights no matter what, and they can use that to try and get the Baron. They've got to force it down early though, because the split push is already enabled from Gwen.
Kumo's moving down bottom lane. Nobody's going to contest for Baron. FlyQuest is saying, that is an int. We don't want to do it. Do not fight them while the Elder is active. So Baron goes back over to Evil Geniuses. Impact will be sent back to the base. He'll stop the push coming out from Kumo, while the rest of EG say, we don't have to go back. We have the Baron. We have the pressure. We'll take the tier 2 in the top side, grab another objective bounty. Mr. Kobe, a game that was an 8,000 gold deficit with a Baron for the side of FlyQuest has shrunk down to 1,500 gold with a Baron on Evil Genius's side instead.
Objective bounties are a hell of a drug, Flower.
Oh, indeed.
Man, that team fight's so much punish now. And EG, their pockets are full. They all cashed in. Look at this, filling out inventories all over the place. Still wearing the Baron buff. 1 second left on the Elder. That one times out. EG really got the most out of that punishment. Huge, huge rewards from them. This changes the entire complexion of this series. Now, Evil Geniuses in game number 2 here. If they could push this one back over the line with the impact flank here, it would be tremendous.
That is Omega tilt if you're FlyQuest and this game ends up going over to Evil Geniuses after having the lead that they did, having the game state that they did. You can see right there, we were having a lovely walk through the Blue Mountains, and all of a sudden, we're right back into the prairie, my friend. The gold lead has shrank. We're down to an 800 gold advantage for the side of FlyQuest. Yes, they still have the Mountain Soul too, but Evil Geniuses are all armed up with Ornn items. Johnson goes up into the air, lands back down now. Evil Geniuses continuing to push up, continuing to use this Baron for the next minute and 20 seconds. Backing away now as FlyQuest are able to make their defense. Everybody's getting away. Danny continues falling back. Danny is 6 items, by the way. JoJo's at 5. Almost caught up to Takui, who, although he has 6, one of them is the Medjai's, which, as you already mentioned, is that cheaper price point item. Unless you're at 25 stacks, it's not the same as a full-blown big-ticket item. And there's Lord Dominic's completed for Inspired as well. That's going to bring him up to full build.
Yeah, it's endgame. EG fully caught up. There is no more gold lead. There is no more gold difference. The only advantage that
literally
remains
and metaphorically
is the Mountain Soul on FlyQuest. And EG, huge comeback from them. The composure of this team on stage in playoffs in the lower bracket is huge. And this is one of the teams that incorporated not 1, but 2 young North American players. Danny, rookie last year. JoJo coming up, rookie this year. And Evil Geniuses had the confidence in these 2 players. You know, both of them North American at that. JoJo hailing from Canada, Danny from the US, and let's see if they can actually push it over the line here, because they now have retaken full vision over the map as well.
And that's one of the things that I find interesting, too, about the conversation with fans coming back, audiences being here, how different that is for these players on stage. For young guys, for new guys that have never experienced that before, like JoJo, like Danny, it's always a question in the back of your mind, hey, are they going to rise to the occasion? Is this going to make them feel the hype and just get that lightning pumping in their veins? Or is it going to be a, what's going on here? Is it going to be a nerve situation? And both these guys seem to be in their element here now. They have been pivotal in making sure they're able to weather this storm. You already talked about how JoJo is having the right assignments, giving himself the proper setup to be able to defend against the split push from FlyQuest. Danny has been aggro as all hell in these team fights.
He's got lightning in his veins,
yeah,
that's for sure.
And it's part of why they've been able to fight back. Evil Geniuses, though, they still have to fight through a FlyQuest that has controlled the game up until this point. FlyQuest, you can see just how things have changed in the state of the game by the way they're moving. They're not so far forward. They're playing cautiously.
All right. Well, we've had first Elder Flowers, but what about second Elder?
Ooh, that's even better than
Delicious.
first Elder.
Let's see it. 13 seconds left on the arrival of that dragon, and FlyQuest will be the first ones to the scene.
And remember, Elder Dragon is not as strong as Baron. He does not have nearly as much threat as Baron does. He's very easy to take down very quickly with fewer players. So just having Jose Diodo and Johnson down here near this is enough of a threat to demand an answer from EG. They're going to keep JoJo up in the top lane. He'll be clearing waves against Kumo, just like you talked about earlier. He'll be the one using the wave clear at range. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Jose Diodo goes for the engage. Takui using the ultimate here from the Ahri. We're going to see if they can get any more value out of that one. Nice use of the unstoppable there on the Ornn burp to be able to get away from that one. I couldn't remember the real name, so I improvised. Whatever.
That's a good one. I've never heard that one before. This man burping out fire.
Well, FlyQuest have control over the bot side river, though, and that's the important thing here. Kumo's trying to walk it on down, just maintaining that sort of questionnaire, not questionnaire, what's a mystique? That's what I'm looking for. Where is he? Is he in the fog? Has he teleported? Now he's going to teleport down, and now we're going to get the matching TP coming out from JoJo. Elder, half HP. The Smite fight can decide the game in an Elder Dragon fight. Kumo is here on the flank. He's ready to approach from the side. Both junglers hanging out in the pit. Danny's already popped the glance. Kumo coming around. It's going to be secured by Inspired. And Jose Diodo is already down. Kumo's going to try to fight in the middle of everybody, but Inspired and Danny are ready to go. The guns are locked and loaded, but Kumo has the scissors to snip them apart. Another double kill back over to Danny as Takui tries to retreat, and Afromu is shotgun food in front of the Graves. Evil Geniuses get the objective. They get the fight 4 for 3, and they're pushing into the bottom lane.
Critically, they keep 2 Elder Dragon buffs on 2 ranged champions here, Inspired and Danny, looking to push this one home. They want to get some of these inhibitors down right now. Takui has got to give him the distance, has to play cautiously here. There are 15 seconds left on Jose Diodo's arrival. He will have someone to help him defend Nexus turrets if he can buy 10 seconds.
Oh, those turrets are taking a beating. First one is already down.
5 seconds.
Danny is ready to go. He's looking for the FlyQuest mid laner and look no further. Danny has arrived. He's over to Evil Geniuses, but can they keep fighting? Inspired. Good luck, buddy. I'm going out to the Nexus. Hold the other one. Body block. And the Nexus will survive.
Jose blocks the shot, and Johnson comes in with the ulti. The feathers fly, and FlyQuest live again. Oh my goodness, Baron is up. Flowers, take a drink quickly because we're gonna get right.
Chugging.
We're gonna get right back out to it, buddy. Stay hydrated for this one. This is now 2 members of EG down. It is a 1-man advantage for FlyQuest, and they're running straight up mid.
Oh, the crowd is fully in support of FlyQuest. Hands were on heads, butts were out of seats. People are ready in this one. This game has come down to a knife's edge between FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses. The Elder has been removed from Summoner's Rift. The Baron is up, and it's FlyQuest who have access. Evil Geniuses who don't have the men to fight back. So now it'll be Fly wearing purple again.
2 teams, good and evil, Flowers. 3 Barons, 2 Elder Dragons. What more could you ask for? 46.5 minutes into it. One of my favorite pieces of LCS history of all time was at 86 minutes, the dream game. With the state of League of Legends, I don't think that's even possible anymore. But we're going to get as close as we can. We're going to try.
This was my last water bottle. I will die.
Quick, someone get some water bottles. Chuck me up a water bottle for Flowers here.
Please don't hit us in the head, though. I do not want that either. Now, let's go ahead and keep track of what's going to happen in the game state now, because FlyQuest have the Baron. It is difficult for Evil Geniuses to push. It is difficult for them to fight. One important thing, however, this Baron will not last until the Elder Drake spawn. It'll fall off about 50 seconds ahead of time, which means Evil Geniuses will be able to meet them in open ground for yet another Elder Dragon fight.
Hell yeah. I actually, 3rd Elder Dragon is my favorite. Don't tell 1 or 2.
You just said the second one was your favorite. That's not an answer. That's a giggle.
Yeah, that's an evil laugh. You don't have proof. Where's the proof?
Somebody get the VOD. All right. FlyQuest have set up, though. They're going to utilize this Baron to make sure they have control over the bottom part of the map. They're going to set up in the enemy jungle, clear out any of the vision from Evil Geniuses, make Evil Geniuses have to check blind. We are at 6 items on carries. We are at the point where face checking gets you deleted if you are not immediately ready to respond and have your team at your back.
All right, item slots become a premium later on into the game. And so this is one of the rare times where you also get to talk about these little bad boys, the upgrades. Never mind, we're not going to have time because the fight is starting already. Gwen already gets the W, can back off. Pretty decent chunk of damage dealt to Impact here, but he does have a Warmog Seer as the last item, so can just back off, heal up, and regen.
I love the Warmogs in late game situations like this, allowing the tanks to pretty much always be at full HP unless their 100 is zeroed. Impact has 5,500 health here on the Ornn, so at least he will be able to survive for a decent amount of time. Mid lane inhibitor under pressure. FlyQuest going after that one, and EG have nothing to say.
The one thing FlyQuest have to worry about, they do not have flashes on Takui or Johnson at the moment. Don't get too risky until you get at least Takui's flash back for a big play. They are slightly more vulnerable at the moment to the Ornn Nautilus combination. That's the only way they drop, if those two backliners get locked up. And so I think it's a good call here from FlyQuest. They just get the exposed inhibitor. They don't want to risk it without the flashes on their carries, and they will get their recalls off. We're going to get 50 minutes here, baby.
And I would like to let everyone know that I was just informed by our lovely producers in my ear that the longest game in the LCS in this Spring Split 2022 was 48 minutes and 55 seconds before just now. So we are going the distance here in FlyQuest versus Evil Geniuses. It's going to come down to one big fight. It's going to come down to one big execution. It's going to come down to a part of the game that players and teams often don't get to practice, and it turns into utter chaos.
These late game moments, these are where real moments of composure come through for these players on stage. A steady hand means everything in the late game because one pick, there's so much damage flying around, can mean the difference here. EG trying to work through the fog of war up to Elder Dragon number 3. Keeping Takui here, split pushing the Ahri on top side, so safe. He cannot get picked by Jojo. Jojo has to just wave clear up there on the Victor. Doesn't have the offensive option. And Takui here, couple of angles. Look at these wards for the teleports. Looks like most of them are pretty defensive for both of the teams. Bottom side, though, you see Kumo lying here in wait behind this brush. He comes through for the flank. Teleports will have to come early.
Evil Geniuses is just going in immediately after the Elder. They are daring.
Where's Jojo? Where's Jojo?
Takuya's already arrived. Jojo's not here yet, but Kumo's going to be taken very low now into the stasis. Inspires nearly killed. Johnson goes in and he finds it already.
Oh!
The man knockup coming out from Impact. Shut down over onto Johnson, and it's Jojo getting it done. Now Jose tries to stay alive. Impact at 100 HP, but he's got the Warmog. Remember the Warmog. Kumo is in the enemy base. A teleport coming back. Will it arrive in time? Impact is there, but Kumo does not concern himself. FlyQuest take game 2. Snip!